We are back with our final segment of the Screen Team on today's talk, KWOC. We're getting ready to review the movie called The Intern, but first, I've got to introduce two fine gentlemen here in the KWOC studios. We've got Ross, and we've got the main man himself, Dalton.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going great.
He's the main man?
He is the main man.
As always.
So guys, first off, we want to let the listeners know that you guys are a father-son duo.
Yeah,
right?
I'm the son.
You're the son? You sound like it. You guys have been around together for quite a long time. Have you guys seen a lot of movies together?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah? What do you guys usually like to watch? I know we've had your dad on before. He likes the John Wayne films. Do you watch the John Wayne films with him?
Some of them, yes.
Yeah.
I'm more of a horror movie person. He likes the westerns. We both get along when we watch action movies and stuff.
Cool.
Comedies.
This one's a little interesting because, Dalton, this is something you suggested to your dad. Is that right?
Yeah.
And this movie's called The Intern. I mean, this movie isn't a horror film. It isn't a John Wayne film. What drew you to it?
I was just watching TV one day and I saw a trailer for it and it looked really funny, and it's Robert De Niro. Who doesn't love him?
Yeah. I raised him well.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. All right, let's talk about the film. We've got Robert De Niro. He is a widower. He is I don't want to say he's a perfectionist, but he's like an old school kind of John Wayne-esque type of character. Suit every day kind of thing when he goes to work. He seems to have everything by the book and kind of does everything right.
Yeah.
For the most part kind of thing. And life isn't really doing what he expected it to do. He's not, he's got his family and stuff like that, but he wants more out of life. And he sees an advertisement for senior interns, right?
Yeah, on a high-tech, one of those high-tech companies.
So he decides to apply for it. He gets the job, and he finds himself working for the boss of the company, who is a perfectionist, played by Anne Hathaway. But she's also a person who doesn't have everything quite in order. I mean, you can tell that tell that right away. So that's the pretty much basis of the plot here. What did you guys think of it, Ross?
I thought it was quite an indictment on today's society. Okay, you have a retired widower, and he's got his little hobbies, yoga and stuff. But he had spent his whole life, working for the telephone company, contributing, making a difference. And all of a sudden, he had a good life, but he wasn't contributing or making a difference or accomplishing anything. And then he goes to work for this high-tech company that's all young people, on a fast track, making billions of dollars and letting life basically pass them by because they were working so hard.
Yeah.
And basically that's the lesson he was teaching them. At first they didn't know what to do with him, and then they gave him a few little chores and he did them well, made a few suggestions, and they're all of a sudden going, oh, And that's kind of, why I said an indictment on our society. We tend to think of everything as young. Okay, we're in the Orient. The old people are revered and treated like encyclopedias. You learn from them because of their experience. And that's what the movie, I think, is saying, because Anne Hathaway's character, she was making millions of dollars, very rich, running around all the time, was not watching her child grow up,
right,
and basically was ruining her marriage until all of a sudden Robert De Niro pointed out, you can take time. You don't have to run everything. And, taught these people how to live life and be successful at the same time from the lessons that he had learned. It's a great movie.
Yeah, great life lessons. Do you agree with Grandpa over here?
Yeah. When I watched it, there were other interns that were closer to my age, and they just dressed in T-shirt and jeans every day. Robert De Niro showed them how to dress properly, didn't make them look like millennials anymore.
Yeah.
Just showed them how to be social people.
Because there was that one scene where the one intern, or at least one of the employees, just like, I got to go to Jay-Z's house or whatever. What should I do? And he's all like looking gangly and stuff like that. And he's like, well, you can start by putting on one of those fancy shirts or, look professional. But one of my favorite scenes is you see, I guess all the interns taking stuff out of their bags and stuff, and they got like iPhones and this and that. And then De Niro gets all his stuff out, and he's got an He's got a flip phone. I was like, yes. Me and De Niro were.
Me too.
We are definitely the same. I thought this movie was, it's predictable in places, which that was one of the reasons why I didn't want to see this film at first. I was like, I know what's going to happen, blah, blah, blah. But I was really pleasantly surprised by this film. It was funny. And even though it was a little bit predictable, I didn't care because I enjoyed these characters and I enjoyed the journey that they took me on. So all in all, I enjoyed this film.
It was a little bit predictable, but the way it gets to the end is the meat of the whole subject, I think. And I think it's a very good movie. You know, Dalton, Mr. T-shirt and blue jeans, picked it out. And I looked at him and I said, really? And we both watched it. We laughed. And, it was serious. And we both had an enjoyable experience. It was an excellent film.
Dalton, who do you think is going to like this film?
I think teenagers and up. I mean, I think some younger people won't get all of the humor in it. I think they'd still like it. I loved it. I mean, with some of the other interns, I kind of saw where they're coming from. Like, yeah, I completely understand that. Ross,
do you agree with Dalton on this? You think this is a movie that both fathers and sons and people beyond that will like?
I see it as, yes, a family movie. If you can get the kids to watch it, that would be good. They could learn something, and I think they would enjoy it. I think it would be an excellent film for the whole family to watch together and, maybe discuss afterwards.
Great. Movie's called The Intern. It stars Robert De Niro and Anne Hathaway. Ross and Dalton, guys, thank you so much for being on the show. We appreciate you guys. And
thanks for having me.
You gonna let him get away with that?
I'll get revenge later.
All right. There's Ross and Dalton on the Screen Team. We'll be back next week, guys. It's my birthday weekend, and I've got a full hour of movies that I love. And I will
turning 50. Yay.
You don't get to be on the show anymore. You're done. Dalton
well,
is
happy
fired,
birthday
man.
in advance, Chris.
Happy birthday.
We'll be back with the Screen Team next Saturday at 6 p.m. For Ross, for Dalton, and Chris, we are the Screen Team on KWOC.